Hey everyone, today I'm going to tie a gurgler. In this particular case it's a bass gurgler. Quite a good surface fly for bass in a number of our locations we fish here on around the Central Coast in Sydney. So in terms of the materials, the hook is a Tiemco 8089 stinger hook. And again, the size varies depending on the size of the bass you're likely to want to target. The thread in this case is just a Danville's flat waxed mono in black. So the theme of this particular gurgler is going to be purple and black. So they're colours that the bass seem to like, and you know, black's a good colour because it throws a really good shadow when it's on the surface. Marabou for the tail. Obviously some foam, so these ones I've already cut out. So you'll see that's the piece you tie in, that's the bit that ends up at the front. So this is a foam called Evasote. It's 1/8 or 3mm thick, which is perfect because it really keeps the fly up on the surface a fair bit. The body, I'm going to use this is UV polar chenille, so this is the small version of the UV polar chenille, and I'm just going to use some silicone legs as well. The thing with the gurgler, you know, you can put a lot of materials on it, but what you want to be careful of is that you don't overload it and have materials that get wet and sink. So try and keep that to a minimum, because you know the foam is trying to keep it up on the surface, so don't overload the fly. Alright, so the first step in terms of tying is just to tie in the Marabou tail. So like I said, this is probably going to be the heaviest material once it's wet, so just think about that. So I tie that in at the back of the hook here. Yeah, that again, the tail and the legs really give it movement. So every time you strip, it'll make a popping noise or surface disturbance, which is one of the things the bass focuses on. But then the movement is the next thing that the bass will focus on. So they'll be attracted to the noise, and then after the flies actually stop, the legs and the tail are still going to be moving, and that's what attracts them. Okay, so I'm tying in the polar chenille, and I'm just going to leave it there for the second. Then I'm just going to get my foam, and that tab that I've cut at the end is the bit that's going to be tied in. So you've got to try and tie that bit fairly tightly onto the hook like that, and what we're going to do is then just fold that forward once we've done the body. Okay, so that gives you an idea. So just work out the size of your foam based on the size of the hook. Alright, I'm just going to bring the thread forward to there. I'm going to tie in the rubber legs, and then I'm going to wrap the body. So all I've done is it's one full leg cut in half, and I'm just going to run it either side of the hook. So just going to run that up under there, a couple of wraps. So maybe 1/2 centimetre back from the eye of the hook is probably a good distance. Some people just put legs instead of Marabou, so they run legs out the back. You can do that too. You know, there's no hard and fast rule when it comes to these things. Whatever works, whatever gives you movement, go with it. Okay, so that's the legs in. Alright, so now I'm going to take my chenille and start wrapping the body. And what this chenille, the good thing, you know, the thing I like the most about this chenille is it looks like little legs. So I'm just going to hold those rubber legs there with the thread while I do this. Get that Marabou out of the way. So it can get rather messy. So just a couple of wraps there just to hold that down like so. Then I'm just going to loosely wrap. You know, it doesn't need to be perfectly tight, but you can see the way this stuff sticks up, it looks like little legs. So from underneath it to the bass, it would look really cool, I reckon, like an insect, which is one of the things they're probably focusing on. So okay, so that's to the legs. Then I'm going to split the legs with the material. right, like so, and that'll help hold them in place, see, like that. And then just finish the chenille off towards the front of the hook to there. Tie that off. We're done with that bit. Alright, so there's your legs sticking out. So all that's left to do now is tie the foam in. Now I tie the foam a couple of millimeters back from the hook. I actually like it overhanging the hook a little bit like that, because it helps push it up. So all I'm going to do is a few wraps on there, keep it straight, lift that up, and then finish off under the hook, and that pushes that lip up, and that's what's going to give it extra movement in the water. Alright, so then it's just a matter then of whip finishing. Now you can whip finish here at the eye, or you can whip finish around the foam, whatever tickles your fancy. I don't think there's any hard and fast rule to that. Some people whip finish around the foam and it holds it in a little bit. If you're using flat wax, you don't usually have a problem with that coming undone. So, and there it is, simple as that. So that's you can see that's going to push a lot of water from the front, and you can just me talking and blowing on it, you can see the movement. So bloomp, and those legs in that tail are just going to keep moving as you fish it. That's it, simple. Go catch some bass. Thanks guys.